This is a short instructional video on how to replace a L-cell electrochemical oxygen sensor from a Rapidox 1100. The L-cell is located inside the analyzer. The lid of the analyzer is removed by the 4 screws on the rear, and then the lid of the analyzer will slide back, revealing the circuit board and the solenoids and the power supply. And here is the L-cell chamber. So we need to remove the lid of the chamber to access the cell. Now, it's very important that I stress that the oxygen sensor must not be exposed to fresh air for any longer than is absolutely necessary. So my replacement sensor is in a sealed bag, and inside this bag is a new sensor, and there's also nitrogen gas. And this is going to stay like this until I'm ready to swap the sensors over. So all I've got to do is, I don't need to disconnect anything, but I need to undo the lid, which I will just do with a spanner. It's a 4mm hex. I'm just loosening off the 4 bolts. Number 1. Now, it's not necessary to disconnect this cell. The unit is powered off, and the cell at the moment has nitrogen gas inside it, which is being held by the solenoid valves over here and here. Number 3, when you remove this, the lid will pop up because it's on spring-loaded gold pins. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. There is number 4. I now carefully lift up the lid, which has got the amplifier circuit on it. And there is the underside of the cell. And this has got the gold contacts, and down below is the L-cell. Now, to remove the L-cell from the housing, if you take one of these sticky pads that we supply and you put your fingers around it like that and press down, you can remove it from the gas analyzer and put that to one side. Now we are ready to fit the new cell, and we need to do this as quickly as possible. And when we're finished, we need to get nitrogen gas on the analyzer as quickly as possible. You've got about 20 minutes exposure to air before you damage this sensor. So please do not open the sensor packet until you're ready to put the new one in. Now, I'm not going to open this because I'm going to refit the old one, but I will open the sensor, and here's the brand new sensor. I'm going to drop the cell in, and it doesn't matter which direction this is fitted because these pins, you can see the positive and the negative go on the gold surface, and that's going to go back on there. Now, there is an O-ring here, and there is a little packet of grease, and you will be able to open this. Just get a little bit of grease on your finger, and I'm just going to rub a tiny amount of grease on the O-ring there, as you can see. And then I'm going to replace the lid. Now it's just a case of pressing it down and fitting the 4 bolts as quickly as we can. It takes a little moment to get going. Number 2, number 3, number 4. So as long as you've got the right equipment and you've got the new cell ready and you're confident that you can replace it as quickly as you can, and then switch the machine on as quickly as possible and let nitrogen gas flow through the machine as quickly as possible, you will find that the new cell will give you a 10 ppm reading, below 10 ppm in nitrogen, in about 30 minutes. So it does take a while to settle down, but it should get you a nice low reading. So I'm just doing these up in a sequence like this. They don't need to be super tight, but just finger tight like that. 2, 3, 4. And that is the new cell fitted to the L-cell analyzer. Close the lid, refit the screws, and now the analyzer is ready to be switched on and have the nitrogen gas applied as quickly as possible. When you switch this analyzer off, always make sure you switch the analyzer off first and then switch the nitrogen gas off second. This will mean that the cell, when it's powered off, has got nitrogen gas inside the chamber, and so it will store safely until the next time you want to use it. Thank you for listening.